Hello, I am Jack Comfort, and this is my multimedia presentation about my semester studying abroad in Granada, Spain during the spring semester of 2017. To start, I would like to outline my learning goals for the semester. First and foremost, I wanted to learn how to speak Spanish with some fluency and be able to actually communicate with the people in my home city of Granada and all around Spain and Europe. I wanted to be able to communicate with people in their native language. I also wanted to learn about the cultures of Spain as well as the other nations of Europe and Africa. To accomplish both of these, I knew that I needed to be very outgoing and ready for all sorts of challenges. I needed to be ready to put myself in uncomfortable situations and grow out of them. Pictured on the left is the family that I stayed with during the semester. They taught me very much. Pictured on the right is me at the Alhambra, a very famous and historical site in Granada. After arriving, we were immediately overwhelmed with information, experiences, and much, much more. I got lost nearly every day for the first 2 weeks and ended up in some very interesting scenarios, such as the very first night that I moved into my host mom's house, I got lost and ended up in her neighbor's living room asking where I was supposed to go home. All of these experiences led to learning and growth as I had to work my way out of any problems by speaking with the locals, practicing my Spanish, and getting to know the other members of my program. Accomplishing my goals was already well underway as I was forced to frequently speak Spanish, learn about the culture just to not completely stick out, and I was almost always in very uncomfortable situations. Pictured here is the time that I went skiing in the Sierra Nevada. It was a great experience where I was able to meet people from Poland and many other areas in Spain. Pictured on the right is my daily walk home from school. It was incredibly beautiful, and you can clearly see that Granada is one of the most beautiful cities in Spain. My first trip with other members of my group was a very important one because it was one where we learned a lot. We learned how to take care of ourselves in other countries, how to respect their cultures, as well as how to stay safe. In Amsterdam, we were able to meet people from Germany, England, France, and more, and speak with them about anything and everything. It was truly awesome experiencing this new place and meeting all these new people, as well as seeing more than I ever could have imagined. Traveling around Spain was also a great experience for learning. I spoke with locals of many cities about refugees, immigrants, their economy, Donald Trump, what problems they had, other issues in the United States, and much, much more. Beyond that, traveling also provided me the opportunity to meet people from tons of other countries, such as Australia, Brazil, all the countries in South America, South Africa, and many, many more. I was also able to ask these people what they thought of the United States, Spain, or anything else. It was awesome. An extremely eye-opening trip that I took was to Morocco. This was an entirely different land with totally different languages, customs, religions, and more. At first, it was a little freaky, but here we were still able to meet some of the locals and speak with them. We were actually the first Americans that some of these people had met. That was just incredible to me. Meeting these people and seeing how nice they actually were made me see how clearly I was wrong to be scared at the beginning and how they are people just like us. Morocco was also very cool to see their way of life. It is not nearly the same as the States, where food comes from a grocery store and you go to Old Navy for clothes. The people were dumping fresh fish on mats in the markets, cutting the heads off chickens, washing their fruit, sewing clothes to be worn and sold in shops, and much, much more. This was one place that expanded my worldview immensely. Pictured is one of the markets, a tanning station where they would make leather, one of the meals that we had in Morocco, as well as the Blue City, one of the most religious cities in all of Morocco. The other trips to Europe were also fantastic and provided lots of learning opportunities and great experiences. We got to see old Soviet factories, speak with people who had lived in communist states, live for a weekend with a blue-collar worker in London, and much more. All of these experiences were priceless, and when I was able to learn and experience from them. The place that I learned the most must be Granada, my home base. Just talking and interacting with my host family, the local bartenders, our teachers, and more people, I was able to learn so much about Spain and Granada. Granada is the most beautiful city I've ever been to, and also one of the most historical. I truly loved my time there. At the end of my semester, I looked back and realized how much I had truly done in just a few short months. I had learned how to speak with anyone I wanted in Spanish. I could tell you about the smell of a leather making area in Africa. I had found that no really does mean yes in Czech, and much, much more. I learned so much in my experience abroad and can confidently say that I achieved all of my goals while enjoying myself immensely. Adios.